Question of the day. Your girlfriend of 6 months confesses something to you. She has HIV. She's had it from the beginning. She's on treatment where it's untransmittable, so you are completely safe. She says she didn't tell you because she feared that you wouldn't give her a chance because she has HIV. Are you angry that she didn't tell you? Did you have a right to know? How do you feel continuing the relationship? And was she within her right to not disclose that personal information? Elijah.
I think most people would be angry.
Most people would be angry.
They're furious. But do you... It's
livid.
It's complicated because she's right at the same time. Well, I assume she's right. If a girl comes up to you and says, oh yeah, by the way, I've got HIV, you're going to go, yee.
Yeah, 100%.
Even though, are we wrong for doing that? I think they're supposed to be, and it's a stigma, and we're supposed to be accepting.
I think relationships are built on trust. The successful ones, anyways.
Maybe that's
a Hollywood answer that I've been socialised to believe.
We say that shit, but you know, we all have secrets. And it's not even, sometimes it's not even secrets, sometimes it's just private things, you know. You don't need to see your girl changing her pads and all of that. There's things that you don't need to see.
Yeah.
So why is it when it's a secret, some juicy information, you gotta see that? Otherwise, I don't trust you.
Yeah, no, it's bad. Look, I think
the question, the most interesting part, is was she within her right to not disclose that?
I was about to say that she is 100% within her right.
But are you within your right to know this information?
Not if it's untransmittable, then you're not. If you're at no danger, like zero risk, and there's not even outlying cases where...
But, this is what the most famous philosophers say. They say, it's not the act of you doing something is right or wrong, it's the act of you doing something which takes away the opinion, or takes away a choice. So by her not telling him, she's taking away his choice whether to be in a relationship or not. So that it might be wrong under that circumstance.
Under that circumstance, he might be wrong if those philosophers are right. I mean, it's hard to argue with philosophers sometimes because they word things in very convincing ways,
and then they use the title philosopher.
Exactly, and they thought about what they're saying. And most of us don't think about what we're going to say. We just react.
Because I do think she has a right to not disclose that information, but most people would say he's got a right to know.
Does his right to know trump or supersede her right to disclose her private information?
Well, he's at risk.
Is he at risk?
Well,
that's what I said. It all depends if he's at risk. He's not at risk.
I mean, untransmittable because she's taking her medication every day, I assume. But...
Oh. Does it like run out if she doesn't take her medication?
Yeah,
she can just forget. She can just forget.
No, but she's not going to.
What do you mean she's not going to? No one plans to forget anything. Nah, 100%. She needs to tell him. She needs to tell him now. Yeah, well, yesterday. If that was me, what? I find, babe, what's this bottle of medicine for?
So you would have told her.
Huh?
So you would have told her if you was the one.
I like to think so.
Your tunes change.
I like to think I told her.
So
we could never know what would happen, what will be, maybe, might be.
Well, but you can understand why she didn't say, right?
No, everyone can understand why she didn't say anything. Because like you said, people are definitely going to...
But this is the thing. If you're in a situation, she's just told you, oh, I didn't tell you because... Are you then not angry because now you completely understand why?
It's understandable. I'd probably be less angry. I don't know if I'd be angry at all. I'd definitely be less angry. It would change like how I feel about what she did. No people's motivations.
Would you continue the relationship?
Again, how at risk am I?
It's not about that. It's about the woman, right?
It's not about risk management. Listen, she's still going to HIV. All
right, cool. So it's a case where she takes her pill, takes one pill in the morning, one pill in the evening, and you're good to go. Bro, and either way, you could just use condoms.
Bro, this is 6 months. This is a 6-month relationship. I don't know if it's that deep.
Yeah, for her to be
6 months relationship.
For her to be bitching like, oh, why don't you pick up the clothes and brother?
Bro, she's got to be the most patterned girl all time. Literally, as in like, bring me beers and shit. It's got to be that level. Sandwich. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. All right, let's get to it.
All right.
Oh, intro. Pause this video right now. Go and read Why We Die by
Venki Ramakrishnan. And when you've read it, you can join us for the discussion.
Or you can join us anyway, because we're going to tell you all about it. I'm Joseph.
I'm Elijah. I was just going to say I'm Elijah.
Yeah.
And I'm Joseph, and welcome to the Icha Library.
Did you practice his last name?
Yeah, I had to because I was like, I didn't just read it.
I thought you just got it.
It took like 3 practice tries. I basically did just get it. It took like 3 tries. I wasn't there like it wasn't like a
Third time's a charm, yeah?
It wasn't like a masterclass that I took on how to, you know. I didn't Google it.
You probably still butchered it. You know?
Yeah, that's the funny thing. Probably It sounded right to me. It sounded right.
Do you want to read the blurb quickly?
Yes, let me just get it up. I didn't get my.
You don't have the blurb.
I know, right? I was too busy learning to pronounce my man's name.
Alright, you don't need to read the blurb.
No, it's fine. We've got it anyways. In Why We Die, Ramakrishnan takes us on a riveting journey to the frontiers of biology. He explains the latest scientific understanding of exactly why we age and how we might prevent it. He examines the cutting-edge efforts to extend lifespan by altering our natural biology and raises profound questions. So these are kind of blurbs that I like, the very informational, functional blurbs, where it's like, you know what you're getting into.
Sucked me in, though.
What, a blurb?
Yeah. And the title's clickbait.
Yeah, of course. Like, how to argue the meat and win every time. That's clickbait as well, because like we didn't learn that.
Yeah, you did.
And win every time.
No, you can't win.
You can't win.
No, you can't win.
100%. Because you're not strong enough. You're like a protein. Literally.
Weak vegans.
Literally. Weakness.
Yeah, they can't even stomach the killing of a chicken.
No, yeah, come on, man.
How are you going to kill my argument?
How are you going to kill me? I'll kill you.
It's not how to kill a meat eater and win, you know.
That's what my book is.
How to kill a vegan. But yeah. Straight into it. Very good book.
It was a very good book.
Very interesting.
It was interesting and it was very difficult to understand. Very difficult to understand.
Do not read this book. Stick with 100%. Our review. Get the 100%. Nuggets of gold and go about your business.
He was ridiculous because I believe...
the book's expensive, you know. It's like 23 quid.
Is it?
Yeah.
Good thing I got it with the credit, innit?
Well, yeah, that's the whole point.
I genuinely think this book is just made by scientists for scientists, not made for like the public to understand. And they basically said, what if civilians buy this? Nah. It's what it is. If they buy it, innit? That's probably why they made it so expensive, because it was like, this is like a research paper for other scientists
years
to read.
Of information and data.
And it was just the way the information was said as well. And it's like the concepts they expect us to have any form of understanding of.
Attempt to break things down for
Literally, there were certain concepts where I was like, you cannot expect me to know anything.
He was breaking things down, but he was starting from here instead of starting from here.
Literally.
He should have explained things from the
minimum. He would have salvaged some cells from a chicken embryo and then fed it nutrients. I was like, how?
Yeah, exactly. There's certain things.
What do you mean nutrients? You can't just buy nutrients at the shop.
Yeah. But one thing, I'm going to start with this. This is the medical definition of aging. The accumulating of chemical damage to our molecules and cells over time, which not only make us more prone to diseases, but also diminishes our physical and mental capacity until we're unable to function coherently as an individual being.
Yeah, and that's a very good definition.
When I heard that, I was like, whoa. Yeah, no, definitely.
Like I was scratching an itch in my brain. I said, oh my God, funny. Things are linear.
When we think of the term aging, we just think, get wrinkly.
Get old.
Yeah, get old. But
it's
an actual chemical
process
that happens on a cellular and molecular level.
Literally.
Where our cells
I imagine we will be saying those words cellular and molecular level a lot during this video.
I'm going to be saying it for the rest of my life. It makes me sound intelligent.
100%. Oh, 100%.
I like that film from on
a molecular level.
On a molecular level.
I'm bringing from a subatomic level. Literally bringing that microbacterial
quantum subatomic.
Oh, got a new one. Beat quantum. That's the next challenge.
Yeah. I got that from Ant-Man.
Oh yeah, Ant-Man. I still haven't seen that.
Yeah,
Quantumania.
Go on.
In chapter 1, our author talks about the philosopher Stephen Cave's 4 plans of immortality, which sounds like an incredibly good movie, isn't it? The 4 plans of immortality. Plan A is to really and truly retain one's energy for eternity and to just live on and on and on. Plan B, in the inevitable failure of Plan A, is to be reborn after death, whether as a human or reincarnated as some other life form. Plan C is to acknowledge that even after the body no longer proves a viable vessel to experience life within, the consciousness of that person still exists as a soul or a spirit which has no living functions and cannot die. In the absence of all other hope of clinging to life, however mean and hollow it might be, Plan D is to live on figuratively through legacy. Humans are hardwired to cling to life no matter how poor one's quality of life becomes, and it's probably this reason above all others that those who attempt to commit suicide, or those that are successful at attempting to commit suicide, are seen as mentally unwell. If all humans must agree on something, and there isn't much we all agree on, is that we all want to get laid and we all want to live. Those are the only two things we agree on. And it's just mad how we just cling to life, and it just doesn't matter what kind of life it is, just cling.
Yeah, it's definitely less and less true as the years go by, because we've got assisted suicide and stuff like that. But one thing I need to let you know about, I just realised I blundered. We had a debate coming up and I didn't plan for it. I just got 1 point.
Oh, I've got 1 point. It's a big point, but it's 1 point, you know, so it's just like...
I forgot about it. Why women have menopause. This blew my mind. You know, there's so much things that happen and we have no idea why it happens. We're just like, yeah, they have women menopause because
they're old.
Yeah, they're old. They can't have children anymore. So the female body stops its own ability to have a child because it's protecting you from the mortal dangers of childbirth, so that you can stay alive and assure that your youngest children make it to become self-sufficient. Adulthood. So it's not just protecting you, it's also protecting your genes, because if you die, your other children are fucked. Right? But yeah, like, that was amazing.
It's crazy, and it just makes me think. There's so many things in this book where it just made me think, but who's doing that? Because we're not doing it, you know, we're not consciously doing it. I think we're going to have
to get onto this evolution book, because
it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
Like from the last book,
the evolution. I was just thinking, but who's doing this? Because I'm not doing it.
And you said something in the last book which was wrong. You said something like survival.
What, evolution affects survival skills?
But no, it's survival affects evolution.
Yeah. Well, evolution. The process of evolution is based around survival and like what's going to make me survive this generation.
No, survival is what affects evolution.
Well, it's a cycle
because it's the genes that pass on. So whoever survives passes their genes on.
Yeah, well, it's a cycle.
Yeah, no, definitely. But yeah, no, we're gonna have to read something.
It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. What does it actually mean to be immortal, and why we wouldn't want it? Some people believe that life has no meaning because we die. Nothing that we ever do will amount to anything in the grand scheme of the infinite universe, and therefore our finite lives are momentary, fleeting, unfathomably insignificant specks when compared with the magnanimity of what's around us. See, I got excited. I was using some big words. I said, dust them off. There are also those who think it is because our lives are finite that they have meaning. Why bother to do anything today if there will always be another tomorrow, again and again, forever? Deadlines are a motivational tool for maximizing human productivity at all ages and at all levels, and death is the ultimate deadline. If time is money, then immortality is wealth, and a hallmark of wealth is wastage. Rappers buy the same bottles of vodka for £200 in the club that they could buy for £20 at Tesco, because when you're rich, you waste money because you can. They even buy expensive champagnes and then pour it onto their expensive watches. Have you seen them?
Women.
They do that too. They just pour. Have you seen them do that? Like pouring it on their watches. I don't even know what the point of that is.
To show it's real.
I don't know how it shows. I don't know how it shows it's real. Maybe because waterproof. I guess just pour water then. Do you know what I mean? They pour the champagne onto the expensive watches as a way to say, "Look at me, I'm so rich. I can afford to waste something that you can't even afford to buy to drink." You know. Yikes. The whole point of being rich is that you don't have to scrimp and save your pennies. The whole point of being immortal is so you don't have to get up in the morning. So I personally just feel like immortality is a gateway to just nothing meaning anything.
If you could press a button and become immortal, would you?
Nah, I wouldn't.
You wouldn't?
Nah, I wouldn't.
100%.
Can you undo it if you want to?
Probably not.
That wouldn't be immortal, would it? If you can undo it.
Yeah.
Then you're immortal.
It's too good of an opportunity to miss out on. It's too good of an opportunity.
How do you know?
What?
How do you know it's too good of an opportunity to miss out on?
Because scarcity creates value.
Right.
And if you're the only person that can do it in the history of the human race, then it's valuable.
And that means you're valuable. Now, niggas are looking for you so they can like break down your cells and extract your blood or whatever. And like you'll never know
you the infinite amount of pain which you'd never be able to kill yourself.
Exactly. Ridiculous. Let me ask you a question like this. If you could press a button and never feel pain again, would you?
No.
Why not? It's the exact same principle. It's too good of an opportunity to miss. Scarcity creates value, right? Why not?
I don't know, because
you see the point of pain. No. Pain is purpose.
Yeah, pain has a purpose, but does death?
Yeah.
And what's that?
Well, we're going to get into that. I have some points about that.
When we procreate, we actually pass on our genes. But remember, the baby has our 25-year-old genes, or however old you are, right? But our bodies are capable of resetting the clock on our genes so that our children are not 25-year-old babies. So scientists are studying how to reset the clock on our own bodies by reprogramming our cells. Maybe immortality isn't impossible.
It's not as far off as you might think. Like Lazarus. There's like Lazarus from Doctor Who.
Yeah.
It might not be as far off as... And to be fair, if you're one of these people that think, that that's when things come out is not necessarily when they come out, then people might even have immortality already.
Well, in the book they said the first human to live for 1,000 years, we believe, has already been born.
Oh, right. How would they know such a thing? I mean, it's interesting to think about.
They don't. They believe. They believe that the technology isn't that far away. I mean, even if it's 40 years ago.
Oh, okay. I just got what you
said.
said.
You didn't get it?
No, I didn't get it at all.
Yeah. So basically, they think the technology, even if the technology is 20, 30 years away, they've already been born.
Yeah, that person. I thought you meant they've been born with everything, the genes.
No,
No, okay.
That's definitely not possible.
Yeah, that's why I was thinking, how could they know? Even if that was possible, how could they know such a thing?
They couldn't.
Yeah, no, they definitely couldn't. But
they don't.
Would you want to be that person? Oh yeah.
1,000 years. I think that's better than being immortal.
Oh, that's definitely.
But then again, it depends what quality of life. If you're going to live to 90 and then be that, and then go downhill from there,
come on.
You don't want to live. You
don't
kill me.
Next 900 years living like that.
Yeah, I mean, we know how shallow our life is. What do we want? Woman, children, drink.
Literally.
And after when you're 90, hey, You know what, a 90-year-old woman?
That's what I'm saying. Your children aren't children anymore. They're all grown. You don't want 90-year-old woman. You're going to have to be like Hugh Hefner. You did see Hugh Hefner with no 90-year-old woman. When we read ultra-processed people, my perception of the human body deepened. We're not just primates, we are walking biofactories, incalculable numbers of battlefields with microbacteria warring on microbacteria to fight disease, store proteins, seek out energy, regenerate tissues. After delving into the intricacies of the body's cellular makeup in chapter 2 of Why We Die, it's become apparent to me that I knew nothing.
Oh yeah, of course.
Nothing. It's even more detailed and complex than I thought yesterday. The smallest individual unit of the body is the cell, and cells operate independently to import nutrients and export waste. Like cities. That was the point, like cities. Cities, however, don't exist in total isolation and work in tandem with surrounding cities to exchange resources, and cells work on a similar principle. Cells make up tissue, tissue makes up muscle and blood vessels, so on and so forth until we get to the level of primate. What's really scary is that we, the primates, are not consciously aware of any of this. We can't actually feel our cells dividing and growing or feel when they begin to die. What we experience as life is something totally separate from what is happening to our vehicles on a cellular level. So it's just crazy that what is really happening has nothing to do with, your job or your girlfriend or what you saw on Netflix last night. Nothing. All of that is literally just nothing.
You just think it. Your brain makes up reasons for why you think and feel certain things.
It's literally nothing. Nothing we perceive as life has anything to do with life whatsoever.
Jordan Peterson said something that he said, you are unbelievably complicated. He said, you are the most complicated thing in the whole entire universe. You are incapable of understanding you.
Yeah, nah.
Which is crazy to think about, And people
crazy.
say, how can you tell me what I'm feeling? You don't even understand yourself, you dumb bitch. Oh, wait, no, that's... Sorry, got triggered.
Yeah, no, literally.
There's another medical definition of aging, and it's the increased likelihood of death as we get older or as time passes. So as we get older, our cells are actually programmed to stop dividing and die. Because that's what, from the moment you're born, your cells divide, and that's how your body regenerates. You cut yourself, and your cells divide and regenerate. But as we get older, our cells are programmed to stop dividing and die. This causes our bodies to stop functioning properly. We know it's possible to program cells. One way is to trigger a mutation. So, for example, we know that cells or our bodies mutate when exposed to radiation. So sooner or later, this technology is going to come out, which is going to enable us to live for double or triple our current lifespan at least. And which side do you stand on in regards to how ethical it is for us humans to be immortal?
Or just like super long life?
Yeah.
I mean, it would be very tricky for me to know the downsides of such a thing. Just because, like, I haven't even lived a normal human lifespan yet, And, people are asking me, like, what do you think about humans living triple what you haven't even lived yet?
This is kind of a curveball. But if we were immortal, immortal, do you think that would force us as humans to get on with each other? We wouldn't have wars anymore.
Potentially.
We'd start looking at protecting the future of the planet because that concerns us now. Because right now, I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, no, 100%. It's like, what happens in 500,000 years does not concern me.
I'm not even talking about 500. I'm talking about 50 years.
Yeah, I don't even think it doesn't concern me.
I don't even know if I'll be here
tomorrow.
We're gone tonight.
Literally, 100%. But in all seriousness, though, I don't think it would happen overnight. There'd probably be wars for like a few centuries, 10,000 years, whatever. But 10,000 years compared to eternity is nothing. It's a drop in the ocean.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? So
you're emptying a clip into a man, and nothing's happening.
Oh, so if every single single human was immortal,
would all the wars stop? We'd have to get on now.
We'd have to. The wars would stop. It wouldn't stop instantly. People would try, and then they'd just be like, "What is this?"
You'd invent more and more things to try.
Yeah, and it'd be like, now it'd be contain, not kill. Now it's contain. That's how you win war.
In
contain.
prison.
Yeah, do you know what I mean? So people would still try, and they'd be like, "Can I cut your head off and just leave you?" You know?
Yeah.
You're like, you're not gonna die, but you're not a threat to me anymore. Just bury you. Can I do that?
Yeah.
And it's like people would come up with ways. The human genius for war, the human ingenuity for war, cannot be understated. So it can't be overstated. Sorry. But I think after a while, people would just be like, we probably should stop. We're going to run out of ground to bury these bodies in, just because no one is dying. You know, no one's disintegrating, no one's breaking down. So we'll eventually run out of space. So we may as well get along. Probably stop having as many children as we do.
Yeah, the world would get overpopulated very, very quickly.
Very, very quickly.
Very, very quickly. And then,
that's probably.
Then we'd eat everything. We'd
have to start eating the immortal people.
Well, we couldn't. Well, you could.
Of course you
could. But
they
wouldn't die.
So where would they be? Oh my god. I found a flaw in this book. I found a flaw.
Yeah, they would be...
Venki, sort this out. What would happen? What would happen? If I answer in the comments, what would happen? If you eat an immortal person, where do they go?
Okay, that was philosophical.
No, right.
Go on then. I've still got I've got about 4.
I've got 3. I put aging definition, which is an incredible definition. Like I just stole before I said it, but
stealing's a very strong word.
Very, very strong word. I prefer to use robbery.
It's accurate.
If cells can divide and grow, why can't they divide and grow indefinitely? In the 20th century, a French surgeon named Alexis Carrel thought he had stumbled upon the secret to eternal life. He found that by containing cells from a chick embryo inside a special flask and feeding them nutrients, he could extend the lifespan of the cells far beyond the normal lifespan of a chick. And he extended it by like 40 years. It was like ridiculous numbers of...
I thought it was in...
It was a few years at first, and then he handed over the project to somebody else because he was like, this is getting out of control, I want to do other things. And then it became somebody else's responsibility to like keep feeding them nutrients, which is a ridiculous job to have. You come into work every day and you're dropping a drop of water onto some chick cells, and then you come back the next day, do it again, and that's your job forever. But and these chick cells like last up to like 40 years or something, and like chickens do not live for 40 years. You know what I mean? So he later claimed he had created an immortal heart. Later experiments would challenge and disprove this theory, but what I found interesting is that there is a name for cells that can divide and grow indefinitely. The name is cancer.
Yeah.
Cancerous cells divide and grow indefinitely, and the damage that they wreak on the human body is well known and renowned. So let's say that scientists learn to reprogram our cells with maybe via radiation or something to regenerate ourselves forever. Would the planet then become to us as we are to cancer? The body has certain defenses to detect the presence of cancerous cells and eliminate them. Would the Earth start developing, tidal wave or like solar flare or I don't know? Because ecosystems can detect cancers.
And that's exactly why I said before, your cells are programmed to stop multiplying and dividing and die at a certain point. Because if you don't, then we just get cancer.
Literally.
So scientists want to reprogram the cells to continue to divide in a manner that's consistent instead of, because when you make a copy of a copy of a copy of a copy
Chinese
of a copy,
whispers,
it's Chinese whispers. This one isn't the same as this one. It's like if you cut a key and you cut a key from a key from a key, that key will not be able to open the lock. So that's what happens with your cells, and then your body says, well, that one's a bit funny, let's kill that one, and then it keeps multiplying and it's multiplying, and that's basically, that is cancer. Apparently, you've kind of touched on this. Caloric caloric restriction slows down aging. Calorie restriction is linked to a happier and healthier and longer lifespan. Scientists ran a test where they would have a bunch of animals. One group would be allowed to eat as much as they want, whereas the other group would be able to eat 30 to 50% less calories than what they would like to eat. As mentioned before, the group of animals on a caloric restriction were better off and healthier, and this could be seen down to a cellular level. Aging is a disease that can be cured, or at least postponed.
You've been treated. It's gonna be treated.
Yeah, it's funny because this reminds me of Minister Farrakhan and the Nation of Islam. They all eat once a day and they are definitely aging slowly.
Oh my
so
God.
which is funny because maybe we knew this stuff before. We just thought they were crazy though.
Yeah, we did think that was crazy. But when you look at some of this research, like I said, this guy that was developing these chick cells, we're talking 19th century he was doing this. 19th, 20th century he was doing this. It's long before he was born. So maybe there really is nothing new under the sun, and scientists know everything that there is to know until something super duper new comes out. And when it comes out, how would we know? Like, what sites do we subscribe to where they're posting top, new scientific information every single day? None. Maybe you read Psychology Today. I don't know if that's.
But he was saying there will be a time in the near future where you go to the doctor to get a pill and you'll live 10 more years and whatnot. And is that something you think you would?
That costs a pretty penny,
Yeah,
10 more years.
It's all money, yeah.
10 more years?
Yeah.
It's a long time,
Yeah.
You could do it 10 years.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're literally, I believe. Death can be cured. Venki says that death used to mean when a person's heart stopped beating. Through defibrillation and cardiopulmonary resuscitation, however, modern medicine can and frequently does restart hearts that have stopped beating. Meaning that for every step that science and medicine takes forward, death must take one step backward. Is it fair to say that death is a disease that doctors teach themselves to become more and more proficient at treating? I've always preferred to think of death as a mercy that we would find reasons to need if it were no longer possible. This is typically the case with things that are generally or even unanimously undesirable. For example, I think it's fair to say that nobody likes pain, right? I mean, some people like pain, not me. We could all think of numerous ways in which our lives would be better if we couldn't feel pain. But much fewer of us look at pain as a tool that our bodies use to perceive and avoid danger. If we couldn't feel pain, we would not avoid danger. So we evolved to feel pain to keep ourselves alive. So did we evolve to die? Or has science merely not found a way for us to keep our energy indefinitely? I just personally think because we looked at it as bad, and especially because we do not know what's on the other side of it, whereas pain, we know what's on the other side of pain, so it's easier to kind of... Death, because of the finality of it, because we really do not know what's on the other side, maybe it's nothing, maybe it's everything, your sins laid bare. I think if we couldn't do it...
You know what, you've actually kind of made a good point. For once. Maybe... If you think about it, evolution knows all. Right?
It knows all.
It knows all somehow, but we haven't evolved to stop dying. Maybe that's the disconnect.
Yeah.
Maybe evolution wants us to die because our spirit, our energy, the body decomposes, spirit goes back round. Being born. Maybe you can imagine your person. It's kind of what I'm getting at is like imagine reincarnation, but not to animals, to people.
Recycle.
Your spirit, it goes round, and you die, and it goes round, which is because where does the life come from?
Energy can't be created or destroyed, only changed, right?
That's quite interesting.
That is interesting. We've happened upon something here. This science business is easy, isn't it?
We better check the windows for snipers. Maybe we're
honestly,
saying some things we shouldn't be saying.
We need to get some curtains at the very least.
Curtains. It's not going to help, though, is it?
I said, if we don't have curtains, we're not even trying, right? Any sniper out there is like, this
red
is
dot on your
forehead. Easiest
50 grand
ever, literally 50k. Would you be upset if my hit was more expensive than your hit? Mine was
furious.
like 60k. Mine's 60k, yours is 50k.
I'm like, wait, hold on.
What's going on here? I am hold up.
The way he explained heart attacks was extremely interesting. Maybe I'm easily pleased. But what he said is a heart attack doesn't actually kill you. Nobody dies of a heart attack. You die because your heart stops pumping oxygenated blood. I'm going to start again. A heart attack doesn't actually kill you. Nobody dies of a heart attack. You die because your heart stops pumping oxygenated blood, which is basically cells on a microscopic level carrying oxygen to your brain. So when your heart stops, your brain is then starved of oxygen and is no longer capable of function, and that's what actually kills you, you know. And most people, well, I assume most people, oh, he died of a heart attack and that's it. We just think, oh, his heart stopped working. But it's actual specific cellular reasons on a molecular level as to why our bodies stop functioning. Which is, you know...
No, it's super interesting because, you know, you grow up thinking all these things that you can die from heart attack and doc's like, no, you can't. You're like, wow, you've just shattered my entire world, you know? Yeah. I mean, maybe you know someone that's died of heart attack, for example, and it's just like I said, our bodies are micro factories, biofactories, sorry, and it's just things happening constantly that... Yeah. And it's like, if one or two of those things don't happen, you die. Yeah. And that's it. And it's like, we're so close to death. And like, remember we read When Crickets Cry? Yeah. And the guy was like, if your heart is the hardest working thing in your body, it's like, if it just stops working, if it takes a day off, you know, causing sick,
you whatever, like we all do. You know,
it's ridiculous.
You know, your body can survive up to 7 minutes without oxygen.
I think your brain is like 4 minutes.
Your brain. Yeah,
it's 4 minutes.
4 minutes.
100%. And that's brain death. So that's, you can't come back from that one.
Yeah, your brain doesn't regenerate like the rest of your body or something like that. Something along those lines.
So if like past 4 minutes, that mean you're gone. Like if you're resuscitated, what would happen?
No, so basically you could have permanent brain damage because your brain doesn't regenerate like the same way your body does. Because I don't know, your brain is what's doing everything, you know, on a subconscious level.
Yeah, that could have permanent brain damage if you survive.
Yeah.
Which is ridiculous. Anyway, let me do my last one.
You got last one? Let me...
have you got two?
No, I've got one.
Okay, should I just do it?
No.
Cells can commit suicide, otherwise known as programmed cell death or apoptosis. This can happen, for example, in mice. Their pores are sculpted in embryonic development, and due to the change in shape, their DNA via intracellular self-destruction kills off cells. Yeah, see, you wasn't ready for that one, did
My mind was doing that.
This also happens with tadpoles when they change into frogs. The cells that comprise their tails are no longer needed and so commit suicide. As Venki says, the cells of a multicellular organism, such as a human being, are members of a highly organized community, which we know because in adult tissues, cell death exactly balances cell division. As I said earlier, we're not consciously aware of any of this, despite the meticulous and mathematical precision with which our bodies operate to keep us alive. So they literally said cell death completely, totally, mathematically balances cell division. So the more our cells grow, is the more they die, basically. And it's like, something is regulating
so that means it knows what's dying.
Something is regulating. It's like we said, evolution knows all. Something is regulating this. Something is saying 50-50, you know? And it's not us. It's not me. It's just crazy to think about. But yeah, that evolution book.
Did you know the human body replaces itself every 7 years? Your cells are constantly dying and replacing themselves, which means after 7 years, you are an entirely new collection of cells, which is crazy.
Crazy to think.
It's crazy to think about it, and everything ties into relationships. But you know, you get into a relationship with someone, and you know, in 5 years' time, you're a completely different person, and they're a completely different person. I mean, you're not the same person you was last year. I'm not even talking about cells. I'm just talking about you. You know, your interests and whatnot. So you know, this is why relationships are so difficult because you know what I find one thing that I find very, very interesting is people. This doesn't happen often, but someone will say you'll speak to a scientist and you'll be like, "Oh, what did you want to be when you grew up? When you was a child?" And they'll say, "A scientist," you know, and they've people see it as a good thing, you know, that they said they wanted to do something when they were 3, which you know, which were completely immature and stupid, and they've held themselves to that. So you haven't matured. You're actually acting on the brain waves of a 3-year-old. Do you get what I'm saying? And I don't know if that's you're indoctrinating yourself because you believe this is what you want when it's not really.
It's not necessarily true because what you thought a scientist was at 3 might not necessarily be what a scientist actually is. So you're not even necessarily the same thing. Necessarily, you might not even be the same thing. Like, you might have thought, you know, a scientist, you know, wears them goggles and pours stuff in, blows stuff up. Maybe they do that, but
maybe they
do that. Yeah, maybe they do that. That's grammatically correct. I'm happy with that. Yeah, maybe that's maybe that's what they do, right? Maybe you're not that kind of scientist. Maybe you're into black holes. Maybe you're into string theory. Maybe you're into
euphemisms today.
Maybe you're into string theory. Maybe you're into whatever, dark matter, whatever it is. But and maybe you saw scientists, you know, chemistry. You thought chemistry was science, like the totality of it, like pouring stuff in, blowing it up. So not necessarily operating the brainwaves of a 3-year-old. And sometimes people's parents say this is what you're going to be, or you want to do what your parents did when you was 3, and then you just still do that because they're still there, they're still relevant, and it's a good idea. So I don't know. I think there is something to be said for people that do what they said they was going to do when they was younger. There's something to be said for it. It means they, you know, they have singularity of focus. It means, you know, they set targets and achieve them. And have goals.
No, there's definitely good things to be said, but at the same time, as I said, you know, you're holding yourself hostage to what you said when you was a 3-year-old, and you indoctrinated yourself into believing that you really want that. And children who are 3 are very seldomly capable of making logical decisions.
Oh, of course not.
So that's what I'm saying.
For example, doctors, all right? Doctors work crazy hours all day on their feet, all day in the hospital or whatnot, and that can't be fun, you know. Maybe they don't want to be doing that. For example, maybe they enjoy helping people. They think helping people is their calling, which is why they take the Hippocratic Oath, for example. But they don't necessarily want to be in the hospital all day, every day, like on their feet for not as much money as they probably should be getting. So, you know, indoctrinate yourself might not necessarily be a bad thing.
I'm not saying it's a bad thing.
No, I know you're not. But I'm saying if you're not going to indoctrinate yourself, somebody's going to indoctrinate you. Do you know what I mean? Somebody's going to get you. The TV's going to get you. The radio's going to get you. Or the Fox News is going to get you.
The TV probably already got you. That's why you want to be a doctor. That's why you
actually have no idea. What was the first thing you ever watched on TV? Don't know. That means the TV got you.
Yeah.
That means it's already got you.
Yeah. I blame the parents.
But
yeah, we're going to end with quote of the day. Quote of the day. Just because you haven't found the right person doesn't mean you will. I know you didn't think I was going that way.
No one saw that coming. Literally, it's thought like bad news.
So you better settle with what you got, ladies. Me. So yeah, as we said, you know, as I said, don't read this book. Stick with the review. Save yourself some time. Save yourself a headache. Get yourself, you know what you need? Cells for dummies. That's what we need. Cells
for dummies, literally.
Yeah. Well, that's what you need anyway. Jail
you
cell.
Need prison cells. Oh, I got it first. You got there first.
Gotcha, bitch.
To be fair, I had that joke ready. I was waiting for the right time to weaponize it. Yeah, I had it ready.
Still lost.
I know, right? But Elijah's good on the quick fire.